For those who have been watching my videos over the last couple of weeks, you've seen a lot of lens reviews and a lot of lens comparisons. My long-term goal is to find maybe 3 or 4, possibly 5 of the ultimate lenses for the Sony E-mount system. That's why I'm making this video. So hopefully you guys are finding them useful. I certainly enjoy making them and I'm learning a lot from them as well. So I'm looking for a wide-angle lens, and I know that Sony makes a 10 to 18 millimeter f4 lens. It is quite expensive. On Amazon, current price is $849. Even if you buy the one that is the international version without a warranty, it is $649. So I thought to myself, there has to be a cheaper way to get a wide-angle lens on the A6000. I went out and I picked up a used Canon 10 to 18 millimeter STM lens. As you may know, there are a lot of adapters out there. From my research, the best one is the Sigma MC-11 adapter. Now, this is normally around $250. I found this particular one refurbished on Amazon for $169, which I think is a much better deal. And so here is what comes in the box. Here is the box that it comes in, and I have to say, for a refurbished product, it does look like it is brand new. Let's open the top here. Okay, so we have, looks like a warranty card here, operating manual instructions, warranty sticker. And it looks like there's another box in here. And let's open this. Okay, so you get a USB cable. Okay. All right. So here it is. As you can see, it's all metal construction, nicely made, designed for Sigma lenses only, made in Japan. Sigma, there it is. You have all of the connections on the inside there. It's a very sturdy and well done piece. This is the release for the Canon lens right here. And then on the other side, you have a little flap for the USB cable to update the firmware. And in fact, I did update the firmware, and it was very, very easy to do. You just plug it in, you download the appropriate software, and firmware is updated in a matter of minutes. So at this point I thought, okay, I had everything that I needed. I had my EFS 10 to 18 millimeter lens, and I had the adapter, and I tried putting them together, and I learned that EFS lenses do not fit on the MC-11 adapter. Now, the difference between an EF lens, a full frame lens for the Canon mount system, or an EFS crop sensor lens for the Canon mount, is simply a small protrusion on the back end of the lens. So I went out and I did some research, and then I bought some tools. I got a little mini hacksaw, small number 0 Phillips head screwdriver with a nice handle because you do need leverage. A little Phillips screwdriver, this is small enough to repair iPhones, and some sandpaper. And here's what I did. You want to start by removing the 2 screws holding in this connection piece at the very end, and you're using the very small Phillips head screwdriver. The smaller the better. Make sure that you keep track of the screws, as they are very easy to lose. Once both of these screws are out, you can move on to the larger Phillips screws heads that are holding in the back plastic piece. And these are a bit difficult to get out. I had to get a little creative with using a pair of clippers to get more leverage, but then I ended up just buying a brand new Phillips head screwdriver, and that worked out a lot better. Once all the screws are removed, you can simply pop off the rear cover. As you can see, it opens up the lens, so you want to make sure that you cover it so that no dust gets in there, and set it to the side. This plastic piece is the piece that you will work with, and what you want to do is simply trim that outside edge. This piece that's about 2 to 3 millimeters in thickness, that is what we are going to cut. So using a small hacksaw, what I did is I just cut a straight line all the way around the ring, and then I kept cutting until eventually the entire piece just fell out, just like that. Next step is to use some sandpaper. I used 150 grit sandpaper and I just sanded the surface smooth. So as you can see, this is the Canon lens. This is the 10 to 18 millimeter in all of its glory. It's a nicely built lens. It's pretty plasticky, but for $250, you can't complain too much. So this is what the backside looks like now that I have modified it. And you could see it's somewhat exposed, so it's not ideal for wet weather situations or if you're exposing this lens to the elements. But I suppose you could manufacture some sort of plastic cover to cover up that area if you were interested. This is the piece that I cut off, and you could see it's not perfectly flush against the edge, but I found that you don't need it to be perfectly flush because MC-11 adapter meets the Canon 10 to 18 millimeter. There we are, and it's on there. And it's pretty snug. There's a little bit of wiggle, but that's probably because my sanding was not perfectly even, but it's fine. It's not gonna fall off or go anywhere. And there you are. There is your lens with the MC-11 adapter, and now you can put it on your A6000. So once I finished this project, I really thought that it would work flawlessly. From everything that I read about the MC-11 adapter, even though it's not specifically designed to work with Canon glass, I've read a lot of articles that say it works with the majority of Canon EF lenses. Unfortunately, in this case, some things work, but not everything. Once you mount it on your A6000, you can control your aperture using the camera. You can obviously adjust the focal range because that's manual, and the image stabilization works as far as I can tell. The problem is autofocus. Now, in video mode, autofocus just hunts and it never really pins down anything. With images, it's the same story. It never quite pinpoints the subject and locks onto focus. Even in good lighting, ended up just turning off the autofocus on the lens and manually focusing this lens for all of my shots. So here are some sample photos and videos that I took using this lens just in the last 2 days. So this whole combo really got me thinking, I wonder if the autofocus would work better on a Sony A6300 camera body, as it supports phase detection autofocus. So I ordered one. We'll see what happens, but that video is coming up in the future. That is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and learned something. It is possible to use a 10 to 18 millimeter Canon EFS lens with the MC-11 adapter and a Sony A6000 camera, as long as you're okay with manual focus. So thank you guys for all the likes, thanks for all the support. Stay subscribed. If you aren't subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks, bye-bye.